Battlefield 6 new gameplay is here again with a surprising video that DICE released showing new maps, guns, gadgets and more. They keep releasing this stuff out of the blue, and alongside that we've also got a big blog post where they actually talked about and showed Server Browser, the sneak peeks of that, some new features and some very exciting information and screenshots from Portal, which I think could be massive if they play their cards right. So with that said, let's dive in and take a look at all of the new stuff. So the trailer starts on Mirak Valley. This is one of the biggest maps in the game, and you can see this guy here. We've seen this dude in a previous video. It's the recon decoy, but it's much more detailed than we had in BF1 and BF5. You can actually see he's holding a gun or a fake gun, upper body, got a uniform on, the recon uniform I think, and then the tripod. So it's going to be cool to see that. A crane in the distance here, keep note of that. And guess what? There's a helicopter crashing into the ground and being exploded. Someone at DICE really does not like helicopters. These uniforms too, they look a bit lighter than the uniforms that were in the beta. I don't know if this is a different army. Might be. Big helicopter crash. Title screen. So this is a PC feature specific trailer. So it's in 4K. And it looks incredible. Really impressive. This is another new map here. This is called New Sobek City. Kind of reminds me of the end battle in Tenet, and you can see this is set in Egypt. Pyramids here, dead giveaway. Big open map. IFVs, tanks, helicopters, the whole kit and caboodle. This here, when I first saw this, I thought this might be a underbarrel. But you can see there, it's a torch, flashlight. This gun here looks like a AK-5C. Yeah, there's a few new guns in this trailer. This is Mirak Valley again. Beautiful destruction there. Top comes off. And then, of course, we've got 4K graphics, uncapped frame rate as expected on PC. To be honest, the game ran incredible for me. I think most people said it ran really well. This is Operation Firestorm. Actually looks a bit smaller, I think, than BF3 and BF4. I wonder if they've squished it down a bit. Beautiful spirals here. Lovely shot that is. This here. Amazing cinematography. It must just get everyone in position and go, okay, 3, 2, 1, go, record. The jets have to be in the right place at the right time. They fly over. This again is Mirak Valley. Different area of it. This gives me BF1 vibes. Look at this. Doesn't this look like Passchendaele? Very gritty, grounded, realistic that. Starting to look a lot like Battlefield. Yeah. And then we move on to the other Gibraltar map in the game at launch. This is called Saints Quarter. And I don't know here, look, throw a knife. Have they actually changed the color grading? Because I feel like the other map set in Gibraltar, what was it called? Iberian Offensive. That map is really blue. So it might just be set at a different time of day, or they've actually changed the color filters a bit. He drops down, gets a kill. And here's a little advert for Javelin anti-cheat, the literal Van Hammer, so you can use the sledgehammer as a melee weapon. And in previous clips, we've seen people knocking down walls with this, creating holes you can get into, destroying floorboards so you can attack from above, a bit more stealthier than just putting some C4 down, I guess. But this one's going to hurt in the morning. Oof, say goodbye to the bloodline. And then mortars. So there was a previous trailer where we saw these for like 3 or 4 frames in the corner of the screen. But they're back now as a support gadget. And look at how, I don't know, are you going to have to, it's not going to be like armor, surely, where you dial it in. I think that's just for the cinematic, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mortar players here. Has that guy got a mortar? I think so. Operation Firestorm, nice overview. And they're talking about ultra-wide. Ultra-wide's really cinematic way to play games, love it. I do have an ultra-wide monitor, but I don't really use it that often, to be honest. It's not great for recording and streaming because not many people have them, you know? And this again is, I think that's Mirak. Oh no, that actually might be New Sobek City, that one. Looking at the color grading. A vehicle. 600 plus customization options on PC. I think they need a search function though, like COD has, because the UI is so difficult to navigate. Something that would be really useful for players is if when you've done all your keybinds and stuff and your settings, it generates a unique code for you. So if you have to reinstall the game or you get a new console or new PC, you just put that code in and it loads all the settings that you saved previously. Like Counter-Strike configs back in the day, I guess. Anyways, here we see the other map that's set in New York. This one is called Manhattan Bridge. It's in the Dumbo area. You can run up and down this street. It looks like there's a capture point there. I don't know if it's going to be like this in the game where you can see how it changes the graphics. If this is real time, that'd be incredible. Firestorm again. You look at the gun here. When you take damage or people take damage around you, the blood actually splashes onto your gun. So they did this in previous games with mud and snow and rain and stuff, but now it looks like they've added blood. So little detail there. What gun is that? It's hard to tell. 84. Going to be an engineer option there. Anti-vehicle. Very fast firing rocket launcher. Nice. DLSS, all the good stuff. And here's a shot of campaign. So this is one of our first looks at gameplay, I suppose, of the campaign. First person perspective. And the squad here, global scale campaign. Dropping into Gibraltar. Look at that. Big, big, big level. You don't get much of a tease for campaign there, but global scale campaign. I think we'll just end up seeing the multiplayer locations in the campaign. So we've got Gibraltar, New York, Egypt, and Tajikistan. They might have more locations, but I think that's what that means. This map here is Manhattan Bridge. TAC helicopter. So the other New York map is going to be all-out warfare by the looks of it. I don't expect jets to be on this, but we've got IFVs and we've got attack helicopters. That looks ridiculous. There's a tank right there. This guy's going to ruin him though, isn't he? And here we're back on Mirak Valley. Passchendaele vibes. Did you notice this here? Look. EOD bot. That's sweet. That's an engineer gadget. Looks a bit bigger in this game than the EOD bot that we had in BF3 and BF4. It's kind of more reminiscent of the Raw from BF4. But that thing had guns on it. That doesn't look like it has guns on it though, but you can damage vehicles and repair vehicles and also anti-repair players. Kill them with the EOD bot. And here's a look at Portal. We will go more in depth into this when we look at the article afterwards because there's some incredible things here. So this is the Godot engine. I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's more people say Godot. But you can just build levels. Incredible. This is some kind of zombies mode. So Alexia Christofi, one of the producers at DICE, mentioned that they were playtesting zombie horde modes in the game. And this is the 44 Magnum here. Nice to see that we're getting that. There's a skin for that you can unlock in BF 2042 right now. For zombies mode, this looks more like infected because it switches perspectives. So there it goes to the real players, I assume, who've got to get the kills on the human players and turn them into zombies. But they did say that you can do this with AI. So you can have waves of zombies, which are AI, coming at you, and you can have rounds. You can have buy systems, so you can buy guns and economy. Portal is incredible, based on what they've said and shown so far. And here's another Portal mode they make where you've got a squad on top of a tower that they've built. And it seems like maybe there's 32 jets trying to kill them. And they've got infinite RPGs that fire really fast. Look at that. So some kind of custom scripting code there with the RPG. And then a bit of Levolution for you. It's back. Yes. Check this out. So this is Mirak Valley. And are these pigeons? There's about 50 pigeons on top of the crane. And it just absolutely slices into that building there, causing so much destruction. Crashes into the ground. Makes me wonder, are we going to see more Levolution style moments with this? I just hope that this is player controlled. I hope that you can do this yourself with C4 explosives, whatever. Boom. Going to open up a massive entryway into that building there if there's a capture point. That's wicked. Oh yeah, quad bikes as well. So we've seen these in trailers before, but I don't think quad bikes were in the beta, were they? No, I don't think so. Then we switched to Gibraltar again. I think this is Saints Quarter. Yeah. And this gun here, that looks like the MRAD, which I believe is the spiritual successor or the successor to the M98B, the Barrett. So it's nice to see that. Another bolt action sniper rifle there. And here we're back on Manhattan Bridge. So I'm starting to learn the names of the maps. Assault ladder. This is an assault gadget. Look at the extension on that bad boy. Whew. That is long. This is going to be game changing on some maps going into capture points. I know a lot of people think that this is just a meme, but I genuinely think that that could be quite a useful gadget for assault. It's also going to break the game, but we'll see how that pans out. And here we see attack helicopter. If you want a New York map, which is more battlefield, I assume this one's going to be bigger than Empire State, which you had in the beta. Looks sweet. Bit of destruction on that building too, crumbling down. Look at that. And back on Firestorm, we got the UH-60 minigunning an attack helicopter down onto the Passchendaele Star map. Is that a scar there? I think that's a scar, isn't it? And look, it doesn't have the forced underbarrel on it that we have in 2042. That's nice. Is that ACWR maybe? Could be. This gun here, what's that called? MCX Spear, is it? Got a very distinct barrel on it. Look at that. Wait, there. Yeah, that's the spear. I think that is the spear. This has got a javelin, I just noticed. Trench warfare on this map. Mirak Valley. All out warfare, baby. Let's go. And then we got a nice shot here. Jet flying overhead. Big explosion. BF6. That's the end of the trailer. Poof. And then this is the stuff that you get in the Phantom edition of the game. Moving on now to the community update, Battlefield Labs testing. So a bit of a blog here, some new stuff. And they do an intro and they say that they are going to be running Battlefield Labs leading up to the October 10th launch of the game. And this is going to include new maps and a first look at server browser. And they'll be testing experimental features. And they showed this image first. And I suppose this would be the front page of the server browser, or when you've done your filters and stuff. And they've got some examples like Rush 24/7, 64 players, all maps, Conquest 24/7, jet mouse only. Yeah, just some different examples there. You can see the ping. And then you can see who created it. You can see the name of it. And then whether it's got like full XP, restricted XP, whatever, all that stuff. Now, I'm going to point something out here. And it might just be that this is a placeholder image. But once again, we're not seeing any official servers in the server browser, which I think is one of the biggest fundamental problems with this and how it was in 2042. I'll eat my words if they put official servers in for the launch, but I think they need to be in there. Also, the ability for people when they click quick play and let's say they put a couple of filters on, they can potentially find themselves in a community server or a player created server that falls in line with the typical Battlefield experience. Like for example, if I clicked on quick play breakthrough, there was a potential that I could end up on this server here, breakthrough 24/7 all maps. It's going to rotate through the maps. A persistent server, much more akin to what we used to have in Battlefield, which was more visibility, more player choice, that kind of thing. So I'm going to keep calling this out. To me, outside of the extra filters that they've added here, which we'll look at in a second, this kind of looks like 2042 Portal server browser with a new skin. And it doesn't actually fix one of the fundamental problems with it. And then scrolling down Portal and server browser, some of the most frequent questions from the community have been about server browser, availability and functionality. In an upcoming Battlefield Labs play session, we will enable an early implementation of this Portal functionality within the community tab. At this stage, our main goal is to observe how it works in practice, with initial feedback focusing on accessibility and UI clarity. As with the custom search function seen within the recent BF6 open beta, these features should be treated as work in progress. They are not final, and for now, the scope of the server browser is intentionally limited so that we can focus on stability and core usability. Could be more to come. Watch this space. Battlefield Labs is a vital part of our collaboration with the community, helping us shape and validate these systems together. Okie dokie. And then there's a picture here of some of the filters. So we've got Breakthrough, Conquest, Custom, Rush. All the different maps in the game, you can apply those filters. Upcoming Labs play sessions will focus primarily on hosting, where we'll concentrate on the ease of setting up player-owned servers via predefined shortcodes. Altering descriptions, selecting tags, and joining those experiences. We're aiming to validate this flow to ensure the scalability and accessibility of the feature. So tags is cool. I like that. So you'll be able to host and customize, and you'll be able to join an experience in labs. Some of the tags you can pick here: friendly fire, no HUD, hardcore. You know what's going on there. And then combined arms testing. They're basically saying here that in labs, they're going to be testing Operation Firestorm and Mirak Valley. They're designed for combined arms combat, and vehicles take center stage. And I guess they want to get some wider feedback and data on that kind of thing. We'll also be using BF Labs to determine the official setting for hardcore mode. And we look forward to working with players to define it. And then there's a little sneak peek of Mirak Valley here. There's a runway here. That looks like the world's shortest runway. Attack helicopters, tanks. That's a deployment because you got the anti-air there. There's the big construction site in the middle with the crane. I don't know where the other deployment is here. It's kind of hard to see all the way in the back. But based on this image, it doesn't look like a particularly large map. Maybe it's distorted in the perspective or something, but you can kind of zoom in there. I'm not seeing where the other deployment is. Because if there's actually playable space here, maybe that's a capture point there, or there's a couple of capture points there, one here, potentially something over here, I'm not sure. But yeah, it doesn't look like a massive map, that. Gotta wait and see how that plays, I guess. And then just a bit of a sign off saying that thanks for playing BF Labs and feedback is very valuable. And this is the Portal blog. Some cool stuff in here. The power of PC meets the potential of Portal. BF 6 brings the best PC experience in the history of the franchise, offering the widest array of features and customization options ever supported. So minimum specs, min-max, ultra there. I think we've seen that before. Maybe this is an updated version of it. We've got 4K graphics, uncapped frame rate, anti-cheat, ultra-wide. So a lot of this was in the trailer that we watched. Here's the good stuff though. Look at this. What is going on here? So this is a screenshot of a Portal mode, which I guess they've created. And we've got soldiers with sledgehammers. And then a few players attempting to defend the base, I guess. And you can see there's a soldier there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 2 squads here. Firing down loads of enemies with sledgehammers. I guess that they can break this stuff down. The objective here in this Portal mode might be to just get through the gate. I don't know. It looks insane though. I love this. They've got some AT-4s there, mounted gun, RPGs. Just demonstrating the potential a bit of what you can do in Portal. Obviously, they've added a lot of these structures here. These aren't part of the... I think this is Liberation Peak. Yeah, those aren't part of the vanilla map. And then more information about Portal. It's a sandbox where creators and players can push Battlefield to the limit. Take unprecedented control of your environment by moving, scaling, and duplicating objects. Create a completely unique game mode using NPC scripting. So you could do single player stuff and a customizable UI. Customize the UI as well. Okay. Legendary Battlefield experiences are waiting to be created. Show them what you're made of. Think it, create it, play it. The unique experiences created are called community experiences. Players can create classic game modes such as Horde mode, the zombie Horde mode, COD Zombies, someone's going to make it, or create innovative experiences like a top-down 2D shooter. Hotline Miami on Frostbite engine. Desert Strike, where you're in an attack helicopter top-down, shooting at things on the ground. Includes spatial editing, map and geo editing. We're going to get shipment day one, aren't we? As well as AI scripting to customize the behavior of AI combatants. The Portal Builder tool also supports custom UI scripting for building fully bespoke user interfaces. With generous mutator and rule set options, you can use our web creator Portal tool to experience Battlefield the way you want. Hardcore mode, closed weapons, loadouts, the sky's the limit. So this is the kind of thing that we have in 2042 Portal. It's a basic web interface where most of the default options are in the game there. You can tweak them, create a server. And then they go on to talk about progression. Players earn full XP progression when playing verified community experiences in Portal. So we'll have to push the limits and see what verified is and isn't. These use existing BF6 mode templates such as Conquest, Rush and Breakthrough, while allowing the creator to modify a wide range of mutators to make the experience uniquely theirs. Some experiences can be featured directly on the home screen, making these experiences easier to find and join than ever. But they kind of did that in 2042 when you clicked Portal, but they were never on the home screen from what I remember. And this is important here. Included with game purchases, players will also have the ability to make their hosted servers persistent. So it's always listed in the browser for easy access. So you don't have to pay to rent these servers. You can just spin them up. They've actually done something pro-consumer there. I like that. And then post-launch support, creation and innovation doesn't stop at launch. Post-launch support will include modes, maps, weapons, and other features as they are added to the game, giving creators and players ever-growing ways to expand their Battlefield experience. So as the base game gets updates, sounds like they're going to be in Portal 2, and they might actually add additional things for Portal. Maybe it could be that place where they add wackier things. I don't know, like dinosaur assets or models that you can put into your Portal experiences, or zombies, that kind of thing. And I think as long as that more wackier stuff is separate and labeled as that in Portal, that's fine. Like, let people have fun in Portal. Something amazing could come of it. A lot of the top selling and most popular games nowadays originate from mods. The potential of Portal is huge. The possibilities seem endless based on what they've told us and what they've shown so far. Looks like you can build almost anything in it, but the execution is going to be the most important thing here. And there's still a lot of question marks too, like what are the limitations? But I don't think we'll know that until we can actually play with it ourselves, unfortunately. Just an update for you. As I'm recording this, I've literally just seen a video of leaked Battlefield Labs gameplay from the Asian playtest, I think, which went on earlier today. And they've got the only up star mode in the game. And obviously I can't show it because it's supposed to be under NDA. But if you go on social media, if you go on Reddit, you can find it dead easily. But yeah, it's there. You can make only up in Battlefield 6 now. I think that is about it for today. Ton of news. Really cool trailer. Very exciting trailer that was. Enjoyed seeing some of the footage of the new maps and gadgets and stuff in there. Some big destruction moments too. I appreciate that they are showing us this stuff and opening up more about the game now it's closer to release. Obviously still a lot of questions with Portal. The possibilities there look very promising though. Server browser, I don't think it's doing what it needs to do based on what they showed. And I'm still a bit concerned about the amount of large maps in the game because that screenshot of Mirak Valley doesn't actually look like a typical Battlefield large map. But like I said, we'll play it first, then we'll see. Now, wrapping up, I've got no obligation to show you this. It's not like a sponsored thing or anything, but Battlefield 6 are testing creator codes for the game. And if you use a creator code and you buy the game or you buy any cosmetics in the game, that creator will get 5% of the total of that sale. And I guess it's a way for viewers to directly support creators who are making content. My code is live now, so if you're on the EA app, just before you finish the checkout, you can click apply promo code here. And my promo code is just JackFrags. Click apply. And then if you buy the game or any cosmetics and stuff, I'll get 5% of that sale. That's how it works. Pretty straightforward. There's going to be other content creators involved in it as well. So I'm sure that you'll see plenty of other people talking about it too. But yes, that is an option now. If you use it, thank you. Really appreciate that. And I'm not advocating that you buy the game or pre-order it or anything like that. I'm just saying that's an option now. If you want to help support me, your money, your choice, you do what you want with it. My advice, wait for launch, see what the launch is like, and then decide if you want to pull the trigger on it or not. Because they could easily mess it up. Look at the last couple of games. But with that said, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope this was an entertaining and valuable video for you. Drop me a like if you enjoyed it, dislike if you didn't, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.